Hey guys, this is Miyako. She's my favorite character, and maybe you could have guessed that. But whether you could or couldn't, join me for the next however many minutes, and maybe Miyako will become your favorite character too. If you somehow don't know who Miyako is, which is weird, she's a Blue Archive student and leader of the Rabbit Squad, featured in Volume 4 of the main story of Abydos, called The Rabbit of Epilogue. And if you do know who Miyako is, well great, your time was just wasted. But hopefully the super cool and flashy edits that I'm totally gonna put in the video right now will keep you here. And now that everyone watching this video knows everything there is to know about Miyako, I can finally explain what makes her my favorite character, even after John Nexon continues to release other bangers like The Animation, Eden Treaty, Volume F, and Noah. Enjoy the video. Before we get into why I like Miyako, let's go over 2 reasons that I think people have for disliking or perhaps even hating her, and I'll explain why I still love her in spite of all her shortcomings. Oh, and by the way, spoilers for Volume 4. Reason 1. The Rabbit Squad won't give Sensei a break. It isn't until halfway through the damn chapter, specifically when Sensei goes out of his way to help the squad during the rainstorm, that the Rabbit Squad seems to stop absolutely hating his guts. And it isn't even until after the rainstorm that they kind of start feeling comfortable around him. As Miyako is the leader of the Rabbit Squad, although Saki does give her shit about it at first, her disdain for Sensei does influence the others as well, even if the others, except for Miyu, had their own hatred of him. And in the next damn episode about the fucking Inarizushi, the others are still skeptical when he brings them the Mommy Nico Inarizushi, but Miyako doesn't think twice about accepting this gift. At this point, all of the Rabbit Squad seems to be fine with him. It's valid to think that Miyako and the other rabbits were overly harsh on Sensei even as the story continued to progress, but to be fair, they weren't blatantly kicking him out of camp, like some hot-headed tsuderes from, let's say, Basic Harem number 128,524,851,286. Miyako does take his suggestions, for example, to set up camp at Kosagi Park and retrieve oil barrels to take showers. Their distress about SRT being closed is also understandable, given the rigor it took to reach that position, and the corresponding lack of ability to develop normal people emotion levels that comes with something so grueling. So while it would seem like the Rabbit Squad was made up of 4 stupid high schoolers with emotional problems, the Rabbit Squad would be better described as 4 regular high school students, just lacking a bit of guidance, that also have emotional problems. Reason 2. She doesn't seem to properly understand her squad mates. Miyako is shown having multiple hiccups when it comes to effectively leading and commanding the Rabbit Squad, whether it's due to Saki being an asshole or her own misunderstanding about her friends. She also does that "no, I don't deserve credit" bullshit during Operation Clover, and makes Sensei and the other rabbits, especially Saki, glaze her massive carrot to change her mind. But since she's 15, it's sort of understandable. During their first decision to join the Fox Squad under the new SRT, Miyako chooses this for 2 reasons. 1, because the new SRT appears to rid any purpose to their protest, and the only reason why they turn on the Fox Squad in the end is due to the 1984ness of Kivodos after Kaya's takeover. The more important reason, as far as I'm concerned, knowing that no lasting issue could persist in Kivodos, is to end her squadmates' suffering, as they were living homeless during the duration of their protest, which is all of Volume 4. It's very clear that Miyako isn't fully happy with moving under the Fox Squad, and even Saki is the one to give her a hint that she should probably look into it a little more when it comes to deciding the best course of action for her and the Rabbit Squad. By the time she makes the decision to abandon Fox and SRT to uphold her own morals and convictions, she leaves the others behind under the misguided belief that they would be better off living a comfortable life. While we, as outside observers, see this as a really stupid decision, there are 2 justifications for this. 1. Miyako is fucking 15, she doesn't know better. 2. Not wanting your team to suffer under your leadership is usually a good thing. Perhaps it didn't occur to her that stopping 1984 from becoming the reality of Kivodos is something her teammates would want to help her do, but even if what she did wasn't the best decision, it was still done with good intent. Alright, so now that we've covered a few incorrect beliefs about Miyako and the Rabbit Squad, let's talk about some other reasons that keep her above all the rest where I'm concerned. She perseveres in spite of futility. Saki gives her shit for trying to act as the squad leader even after SRT was disbanded. But then again, the outcome of Operation Carrot, the one about the oil barrels, proves that Miyako has the only capability to lead the squad. And through all their struggles and doubts, she does her best to lead the squad and manages to do it well. Miyako is also the only one who refuses to abandon the park shelter during the rainstorm, and whether it was out of admiration or out of pity, she, and totally not Sensei, is the reason why the squad decides to salvage their shelter. Although it is still iffy that Miyako left her squad behind to fight against Kaya's 1984, it's still admirable that she thinks she can win versus Kaiser and Fox Squad. She cares about Miyu. And so do I. Her convictions are and remain strong. We talked about the Rabbit Squad's initial hate for Sensei, and we also briefly mentioned the stress that came with the closure of SRT. Given that their efforts were squashed by a garbage safety bureau only through the power of Sensei no Jutsu, it's understandable that Sensei looks like the villain. After all, from their view, it looks like a big bad adult stepped over all their ideals because he has an adult's authority. Therefore, when we see Miyako leading the squad to diss Sensei, her rationale is understandable. I'd be pressed if the authorities told me to stop making Blue Archive content just because, well, they're all still high schoolers. Well, guess what, government? These high schoolers didn't let an adult tell them what to do, and neither will I. A lot of what we've mentioned before has to do with Miyako's convictions. Why does she keep fighting for SRT? Why does she seem to misunderstand her squad? Why does she leave them to stay with Fox Squad while she goes to fight 1984 on her own? Why does she care about Miyu? All of these have to do with her convictions. She has a strong moral compass that prioritizes the well-being of others, which is crazy for someone who's 15. Even someone like her, who put in the work and put in the hours to join SRT solely because she admired the ideals of justice the Fox Squad displayed, was able to make the choice to turn against her role models to defend the ideals she built. She may have seemed stubborn to remain a member of SRT at first, but throughout the story, it becomes clear that it wasn't about pursuing SRT, it was about pursuing the justice that SRT stood for. And that's what makes Miyako so wonderful. Miyako certainly had her faults, but she grew to stick to her beliefs and learn who to trust and depend on. Miyako was not written as a perfect character, but she's my perfect character. I joined Blue Archive for cutes, funnies, and Mika, not for a we're not rabbits rabbit that roped me in, tied me up, and locked me into this basement known as this fandom. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hoped I convinced you that Miyako is worth your time. And if not, maybe Kinotama can.